We've all been there before. Everybody who is listening or watching us have been there before. And all WWE did was bring it to the forefront. Everybody has been in that position before where you told somebody, hey, man, you need to apologize. I got a simple question for you, Rhodesia. And then I may even flip it, depending on if you're truthful or not. Who are you when it comes to demanding an apology? Are you Jimmy Uso or are you Jey Uso?
Telling the full truth, I'm BOFUM. I'm both of them. So it's just the matter of the ride that I'm on. So you're going to get both the Jimmy side and the Jey side.
All right. So you have passed number one because that is accurate for you. You are definitely both of them. So now, which one would you say you are the majority of the time?
Probably Jimmy. When I'm cool, I could be cool and calm. Yeah. I don't usually come in super hot. Only certain people in my life have that effect on me, that I'll come in super hot. Other than that, I'm Jimmy.
Who would you say I am?
Probably Jimmy. Same way. Yep, you're pretty cool. Cool as a cucumber is a
I think
phrase.
I'm definitely Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm definitely Jimmy. But we all either one.
Mm-hmm.
Usos is all of us. Because when you demand a apology and you feel like you've been disrespected, gotta stand on business.
You got to. And I'm glad that you started here because this is like so hot on my mind right now. Like, Punk, you are such an absolute prick. That's what they bleeped Finn Balor for.
Bleeped it out,
they thought they was gonna say bitch. They thought he was gonna say bitch, but we'll get to that.
Well,
but
prick
when he
is
said
a dick,
prick,
right? Isn't that like the slang? I think so.
know.
So I think that's why, yeah.
Okay. But yeah, no, when Punk came out there talking all this stuff, bringing up his daddy, first off, he's like, I wasn't really that close to Sika. Really, Alpha was my dude. Then why are we even going down this story path?
He was doubling
like,
down.
For real,
He doubled,
like,
tripled,
dude,
and quadrupled down.
Why?
He did.
Like,
he
Punk,
did. He definitely did.
It irritated me. So am I supposed to give you a pass because you were down with them back in the day?
Which was an awesome story. I didn't know that.
It was a great story. I didn't know any of that either.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Still,
which now makes sense, though, of why they are allowing that to be part of a storyline.
Right, for sure.
Because there is that connection there.
Yeah, but they wanted an apology. And Jey told him 2 times, maybe even the 3rd time, hold on, this is not even about Roman. This is just based off of family business. You disrespect. And Jimmy said it. Oh, Jimmy said it so awesome. I miss Jimmy on the mic, just like not trying to be the little brother or the young, older, bigger brother of Jey. Just when Jimmy's Jimmy, you kind of don't realize how good he is on the mic until you have moments like that. And it's just like, he's like, bro, this has nothing to do with that. This is just pure disrespect.
Well, really, both of them, right? Both of them on the mic when they are able to really sink their teeth into, and we've been saying this for years, I mean, with the Bloodline storyline, but you got the hothead, you know what I'm saying, which is Jey.
Jay's a little inaudible a lot of times, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's the hothead. He's like the little brother with ADHD, you know what I'm saying? And Big Jim is the big brother, where it's like, I know you probably didn't understand closed caption here, but look, this is what we're doing. Here's the thing right now. Yeah, you know what I mean? And like the cool part about it was even the first segment where after, they get the business with LA Knight and, the Vision, and Jackie asked the question about, all right, so like Punk said some thing last week and Jey was just, doing Jey. And then Jimmy was like, yeah, maybe we do.
Hold on.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, we in for it. We in for it. And this is what I was wanting. So last week when we were talking about it, I'm like, they got to go there. This is now going to be what this is. We bring a family into this thing in terms of the Usos and Roman. And the awesome part, let's do this. Let's intro the pod first, right? So then we can get right into it. So this is the TFW podcast. That's Freaking Wrestling. We episode 240.
Yay.
Shout out to my guy, Wole. Wole said probably a year and a half ago, Wole said, I hate when you say best kept secret in wrestling podcasts. Y'all just the best podcast. shout out to you, Wole. Guess what? I'm not saying it again. We're at a point now that we are just no longer the best kept secret in wrestling podcasts.
We're not the mistress anymore? We stepping up?
No, we the main now.
We about to be main?
We the main. You know what I'm saying? We the main. Y'all know who we are. Rhodesia.
Hello.
Pretty lady over there. I am Matt, your favorite talker out here in these wrestling streets. And we got another jam-packed show for you. And shout out to all our freaks, everybody who supports and appreciate what we do. Y'all know the deal. I say it every single time. If you have not, hit that like button, hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button, leave some comments. It all helps the algorithm. And I did check. And I do know we have a lot of listeners on our audio platforms. We haven't had a review in like a year plus on there. And that helps the algorithm to push our content out to more people. So if you are listening, man, just hit us up with a 5-star on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. Leave a sentence, you know what I'm saying? Talk about how we are no longer the mistress. We are the main, you know what I mean? We are it. So we can move up them charts. I like it. I looked, and if you look at all the data, it's like we were top 45% in like all something podcasts. I got to go back and look again.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
We need to be top 10%.
Brick by brick.
Top 20, top 15, top 10, top 5, and then
it is brick by brick.
Top 5.
Great Nipsey. It's a marathon. I'm built for it.
Shout out to Nipsey, man. Shout out to Nipsey. So the
Let's
beginning,
finish talking about punk ass.
The end segment on Monday Night Raw. How'd you like it? Came in a little hot last week and said
I'm still hot. I'm hot right now.
Their Roman and Punk segment was as good, nowhere near as good as the first one. And we had a whole conversation about where this, storyline was going to go and this program was going to go. And I'm like, they got to go deep. This can't just be a thing where he brings up Larry and you know what I mean? Like, we got to see the old Roman. Of course, he'll be on Raw Monday. But overall, what'd you think about the ending segment with Punk and the Usos?
I came in a little J-ish last week. But I'm going to come in getting a little J-ish right now. Like,
of course you are.
Here is my issue with Punk. And again, this is just so bad because when someone is like, and this is like politics, when somebody's one way, it's hard for them to see another way. Like, and I be trying to break myself out of this Punk hate. I be trying so hard. But then when I hear him speak, I'm just like, yo, I don't like when he does he does this often, like the Eminem 8 Mile final rap battle. Like he does this, I'm going to come out here and lay all of my dirty laundry out there and air all of this. So then when you come in the ring, you really have nothing to say to me. Like, I don't like that. I think that at times that's needed, but at other times, like, you only saw that once in the movie 8 Mile, and that was at the very end. But I hate when he does that. Oh, I'm surprised that you guys actually like me. Oh, like, don't do that. Like, that's stupid. Well, of course they like you. You know they like you. So right there, he already got me kind of like, whatever.
Okay, so stop right there. So now we're gonna go back and forth on this then. That was a legit comment. He talked about Roman's dead dad. That was the last thing we'd heard from him, who he is the babyface on Monday Night Raw. His music hits. He gets nothing but cheers. It's not like he just said that because, I just wanted to, I don't know. Oh my goodness. I just wanted to see what you guys thought.
That's what it felt like.
No, that was a legit thing. I thought he may have got not showered with booze, but then I immediately thought when he didn't, I was like, it's because Roman's not there, right? If you are a paying customer, whoever's there, that's your guy. Because the other guy's not there. You know what I'm saying? So if Roman was there, he probably would have gotten those boos. But no, I think that was legit. I think he legit was like, well, let's see how, and that's actually what I do enjoy about Punk's promos, is because he will say kind of some of that stuff that, I mean, I really wouldn't say that's, behind the fourth wall or anything like that, but that's kind of like some real life stuff like, okay, y'all do rock with me right now. I ain't know what I was going to get. So now I know maybe in a different way of how to start this promo, right? Or the tone to use a little bit because y'all do have my back more than what it would have been. No different than what Cody said now when they hit certain markets, he'll kind of ask like, hey, is this a home game or away game? And then they'll tell him like, yeah, they showed your face on the screen before the show and you got more booze or whatever the case may be.
Let's not talk about Cody right now. We did a whole episode on Cody. Let's not talk about Cody right now. Okay. Like, but the level up piece then, okay. I'll give you that, because the one thing we always said about Punk is that he is great on the mic and he's able just to go out there, feel the energy, and just speak. Right. And when I've been on here before and I gave him massive props, many people can't do that. But okay, I give you that. But the leveling up, okay, I give you I give you, you can level up people on the mic when they're in the ring with them.
Okay.
I give you that. But what else do we have proof that you've leveled somebody else up on? That's a legitimate question. That's not rhetorical. What instance, I'm going to give you since December. That's when business starting to pick up, the end of December. What have I said that he has leveled up in the company? When I've been on here talking about how bad Raw has been and how I blamed it on him, and you said, no, you really shouldn't blame it on him because when he's in the ring, he's actually entertaining. So what have you leveled up in the company?
I mean, I would answer your question, but you never even answered my first question. My first question was just, what'd you think about the segment? I didn't say anything about breaking down Punk's promo line by line. I
told you I was coming in like Jay right now. Told you I was coming in this Jay.
What did you think about the segment from Monday Night Raw?
Okay. Don't want to jump ahead.
You start breaking down Punk's promo line for line.
Don't want to jump ahead.
That wasn't even that big of a line, like for you to like.
Yes, it was, because he said level up like 4 times, man. Like, don't play with me.
You know how like you'll put pictures in on YouTube? Every week you just got to put pictures of your notes. You probably got a 4-page paragraph.
That would be pretty darn
worth
good,
of notes
actually.
just about Punk's. Did you even see the Usos part?
Yeah.
You're positive? Okay. All right. Just want to make sure. Okay. All right.
That's
so
the
what do you
reason
think?
why I know who I am right now. I was mad a little bit at of course, right? But no, I was more mad at this segment. Like, it wasn't as like electric as I wanted it to be. But I had to go back and kind of look at, and I don't want to jump ahead, the beatdown of Finn. And I'm like, okay, well then it needed to look a little bit different. Because I had originally thought, like, when Punk was going to apologize, and when he finally said, I'm sorry, I'm not breaking down what he said, but when he finally said, I'm sorry, I was like, oh, I know that ain't a real sorry. That's one of them fake sorries. And so when he at first said it, I was like, oh, okay. So now, they about to beat him down. And when that didn't happen, then that's when I was like, oh, I was disappointed. But I went back to go look at it again, because the first time I was only fueled by the hate of Punk, that I did not catch everything else about it. So then when I went back to look at it, subjectively, I was like, or objectively, I should say, I was like, this was actually a very, very good promo. That last segment I thought was actually really good. Initially, I didn't think that it was really good, but because you can't have another beat down the way that they did with Finn, you just couldn't do that, and it wouldn't have looked right. So for me, I give it two thumbs up, because I didn't expect.
That's cool.
I guess I didn't quite expect that. I thought that the Usos was going to come in and defend Roman, although he wasn't defending Roman. But you get what I'm saying. I thought the next response was going to be Roman. So that I got surprised by that.
Yeah, no, that's cool though. Like, I love that you're able to. I can't watch wrestling like that anymore, right? Like, we even had a conversation this week where we were watching. It was Raw, and Ivy Now, which looked incredible.
Yes.
And she was working Lyra, maybe whoever she was working.
Last week? It was last week, yeah.
Yeah, and during the gauntlet match, and I'm watching and I'm looking, of course, for things that ain't got nothing to do with the match. Right. I'm looking just for like how they're communicating. I'm looking for how they're transitioning from one spot to another. I'm looking at like the psychology, and I stopped myself and I'm like, yo, it's been so long since I've watched, wrestling, quote unquote, regular, that like when somebody is working a body part, like I wonder what people are looking at. Right. Like they definitely damn sure ain't looking at what I'm thinking about and looking at. But that's cool that you had like so much personal animosity for Punk, like during that promo, that you lost yourself, like you got lost in it, right? And I definitely get lost in things a lot of times, but that segment was one of them. Why I'm still watching for clues of like what they're trying to tell us, what they're trying to convey to us. The biggest one for me was one of the biggest ones. I mean, I thought the segment was fantastic. I just knew the Usos was going to dog walk Punk. I said it throughout the entire show. I was like, they're going to dog walk CM Punk. But now I know they didn't, because that wouldn't make sense to where the story's at. Right? We got a really good looking punch. If you wanted to, say, oh man, right? Yes. Like, so you got punched in the mouth for talking about the family, and then that's it. But it's not about Roman. Because that was the whole thing. This ain't about Roman. This is about respect. This is about our family. But what I really loved about this entire, how we even got to that point, was Punk was about to apologize. So I even loved because he said he got me out of character last week and I said some things and then Uso's music hit. He wasn't about to say, and I double down on everything that I just said.
That's fair.
I'm glad your daddy died. And he was about to say, that's my fault.
Maybe
I went a little too far, but
maybe.
he got me out of character. It's not about Sika and Alpha. It's about me and you, right? Uso's music hits. Now I'm getting pushed. And one thing we know is CM Punk is not a punk. You're not about to punk CM Punk. So even though I know I could be wrong, and even though I know I'm wrong, now you forcing me to apologize? We've all been in that situation too. Where
like I was gonna say sorry, but now that you did this,
you know what?
No, fuck that man. I ain't sorry. Fuck you.
No, we good. Yeah. No, we good now.
But do you think that, and this doesn't matter, but this is just fun banter between you and I, do you think Jimmy actually would have swung on him if he didn't put his hands on Jay? Because I don't know maybe if he would have at that point, because he only swung on him because he pushed Jay.
Remember, Jimmy has always been the big brother.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
So it may not even be in his DNA to do that. Potentially, maybe. Right? Who knows? But even down to that, Jimmy was the one that hit Jay. Jay was the one that was doing all the barking. Right? There's just so much layers to that last segment, which I'm like, see, this is how you do storytelling, man. This is how you do storytelling. And I know, everything is not for everybody. There's people who did not like the segment at all. I don't get it, but God bless. Right? Like, I can't tell you how to watch and how to enjoy an art form and an entertainment is wrestling as any other entertainment. But like for me, when I'm watching, I'm like, yo, they're really thinking about everything. And this is even without Roman. And Roman's back next week. It ain't like we're not gonna see Roman for another month or it's gonna be 3 weeks. But they laid the groundwork now for Punk is still gonna get his from Roman, but we may have a bigger situation. And those are the points that Punk brought up about Roman to the Usos. To hell if you believe when Roman said yeet, when they were doing War Games, and that was the way that he apologized. To hell with anything that you think. CM Punk's stance was, I do apologize, but I apologize the way your cousin treated you and your family like dogs and didn't appreciate you. Because Punk kept saying, we're friends. Meaning that I got your best interest in mind. If he does or if he doesn't, that's also part of this story. Right? Like you leave that segment, and WWE even put up like a quick video of Punk walking away, down back, to Gorilla after the show went off, and he had like a little smirk on his face. And then I think the caption was something like, Punk knows what he's doing, or Punk may have, Roman right where he wants him, wherever the case may be. Is that really a babyface's thing?
I've always said that Cody is not I'm getting them all confused.
Well, we know you said Cody's not a baby
Punk
face.
is not a baby face. Okay. Really quickly, because we have to settle this debate. And it could just be Black internet wrestling community or what. I don't necessarily want to make it racial because I guess they're not Black. But if the person who did wrong says your biggest catchphrase with all the emotions, all the oomph to it, that's an apology. In my book, Roman apologized. Do you feel like Roman apologized to Jay by doing the yeet?
Hell yeah, it's an apology.
People were saying, Roman didn't apologize.
But see,
he did.
The yeet is the Samoan Uso version of my bad. That's what that was in that moment. My bad. Yeah, I didn't say, you know what, man, let's talk. Dude, I was really tripping for those 3 years. Like
3 years? No, that's wild.
I know I almost killed you a couple times. I know I treated you like dog shit. I wholeheartedly apologize. I just felt like all the pressure was on me to make our family be what our family needs to be and can be. And if I dropped, the entire family dropped. The pressure got to me a little bit. I'm sorry. We ain't got time for that type of
He said,
sorry,
right?
my
bad.
Yeah, he's my bad. We've all done that too. We've all thrown the my bad to somebody where it probably needed a little bit more of an apology, but the my bad was good enough in that time period. Now we got to revisit it. Probably. But that was enough to get us to this point because he did apologize. Now, did you want to say even after that, he told Jay to run it back at the Rumble? He punched him right in his mouth when he did try to run it back? I mean, look,
but that's siblings fighting, though, right? Isn't it? But that's still kind of like siblings fighting.
Of
mean,
course.
that's just how it is.
But yeah, I do think it's enough. But but still, everything that Punk said was accurate and was fair. It's all a fair criticism of that situation, right? So even when Punk made the comment of if Roman cared, he'd be here right now. What a great line. What a great line that is. I talked about your dead dad last week and you couldn't even show up this week. I don't give a damn about your dates. I called out your dead father and you couldn't even show up to your job the next week to confront me. Oh, what a line, man. What a line. And I actually thought the Usos, I think it was, man, I was going to say, I thought the Usos had a better performance than Punk, but they played off of Punk. So that's not fair at all. That was just both parties did exactly what they needed to do. But once again, you talk about this storyline, which is the 1A storyline. We got to wait and see what they do, of course, Friday with Orton and Cody, right? To see if, that is 1A1 or if that's going to be 1B. But this storyline has already taken off, probably hotter and higher than what people may have thought a few weeks ago when it comes to the meat and potatoes of what they can really get after over the next 5 weeks in this storyline. Because it started as just Punk and Roman. We can do, the Heyman thing if you want to. We can just do, they set the stage in that first promo that everybody went crazy about. And then that second promo, we hit the family piece of it. Now we know this is going to, however you want to look at it, if it is a reunion of sorts with Roman and the Usos, if this is a blow up again of the Usos and Roman, but at the end of the day, this is going to equate to bloodline style television. And Roman has always said, I got the formula. I know how to run the play. We just need to run the play.
Yeah.
And I think what we're seeing is them running the play that we know and they know is going to work.
Whatever, I'm Punk. But you're right. You're right. All the way right. I give you that.
So now after week 3, third interaction, third promo, where you at on the meter? You were really high after week 1. Week 2, you said, actually, I feel like I'm a little lower than I was after watching the first
didn't
promo.
Say lower, little lower. I didn't say a little lower.
Sure did. Where are we at right now?
I said a lot lower. I said a lot lower.
Where are we at right now on the Road to J meter
of
hype for Punk and Roman?
Remember, I told you last time that first one is Mandela effect. It never happened. So at this point, where I was very low at last week or that last interaction, this week I'm much more higher. I'm good. I'm liking this. I am excited to see how they're going to battle for that WrestleMania Night 2 main event spot between the two of them and Cody and Orton. So I'm happy where we're at so far with maybe 5 more Raws to go. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm all in. And anytime the Usos can get to the real type stuff, particularly Jimmy, man, he's fantastic.
I'm telling you, I forget.
He's really, really
gotta put
good,
more respect
man.
on his name. Like when they were tag teams and Jimmy was known as like the main twin. Let's be honest here, that's kind of how it was. Jimmy was the main twin, and then he ended up getting injured, and Jay took the bull by the horns and took off. You kind of almost Jimmy played his position of then Jay's other brother, like the other twin. And it's beautiful when you see that, when you can see someone put their ego aside to be able just to do what's better for the family and for the business. But when you're able to get those sightings of Big Jim, you're like, yep, these are two really incredibly talented guys. So I'm excited for that.
And the last thing on it, you know how like the segment was incredible or fantastic, whatever word you want to use, is when we're all sitting there thinking the same thing. And everybody who watched that segment was like, dude, hit Punk, beat his ass.
Right.
While they're talking, right? There's nobody who didn't watch that segment that was like, hey, hear Punk out. Hey, stall him out.
Because he was so damn long-winded. I'm trying not to just shit on him this whole episode. But no, he was
the long-windedness was great though. It wasn't, he didn't lose you. You weren't bored with it. You wasn't like, oh my God, come on. This segment is going on forever and ever. It wasn't about that.
I was seeing more red though. I was like, man, if y'all don't just suck the shit out of him and call it a day. And they didn't. Not until like 30 more seconds later. And I'm just like, oh my God.
You be the person to ask on this, because I don't know. How many curse words were used in that 12-minute promo segment?
I don't think it was that many. I think it was a couple. And it could actually be a whole bunch. But the point of why you brought that up to me, and I'm glad you brought it up, because you just validate everything that I talk about, the whole cussing in wrestling in their promos anyways, is that it could have been 10 10 cuss words. It could have been 10 very bad cuss words, like the fuck shit. That kick you in the ass type thing. You get all that. But they didn't do it for the pop. It was just part of conversation. I told you before, I love cussing. Cussing is amazing. It gives you extra oomph on the words that need the extra oomph. I love it. But when you are just saying the cuss word to get a pop, that's my problem. So actually, I don't know how many cuss words was used in that promo or that 12-minute segment. I don't know. The point is, I don't really recall any of them being used just to get a pop.
Then let's talk about this, probably the second biggest pop of the night. Definitely the second biggest storyline angle. And that was Finn Balor finally being ousted and out of the Judgment Day. This one I wasn't as happy with. We knew it was coming because it felt like it happened. If we're going to wait now, because you can argue and say, yo, we've been doing this song and dance for a long time. We know this is going to be Dom and Finn at WrestleMania. Maybe even Demon Finn, which would be super cool because we know Finn is going to beat Dom. But when the turn happened, I was like, damn, it felt out of place. Like if it was going to take this long to get here, I felt like they should have cooked it up one more week. Like, give me something else on Raw this week to where we know they're breaking up next week. I don't know if that was maybe they haven't gotten a hold of Finn the entire week, but then somebody else called Finn and he immediately picks up and said he'll be at Raw Monday. I don't know. I don't know what that would have been, but we're watching in the middle of that ring the breakup of Finn Balor and the Judgment Day, and the gravitas of that moment wasn't there for what it should have been. He'd been in Judgment Day for what, 3 years, 4 years?
Probably close to 4 years.
Because they brought Finn in when
after Edge
left.
So maybe 3 years, yeah.
So definitely one of the first, he wasn't a founding member, but you would put him in that first. Yeah, right. Like he was in that initial stage after Edge. And when the breakup happened, it just felt like it was good. I thought the execution was good. It was the same way he turned heel in NXT with the back kick that he did, same way. So I thought that was an awesome callback. That was really cool. But yeah, for me, it just felt like, yo, it needed to be cooked up another week, one more week.
You're such an elephant. I would not ever remember that until you said that. And now you be placing those Mandela effect memories in my head. But
they put that on me.
I don't think that. I think the timing was good, actually. I think the timing was good. If we would have waited till next week, then you would have had to then fight for the attention from the Roman and Brock's return. So I wouldn't want to have been next week. And we know we needed to get this. Yeah, we want to keep this up.
Yep.
So I'm completely fine with it. And what I loved about maybe the timing of it this time was that when they first, Dom and Finn first got their like interaction with each other and got physical, you almost saw like Liv kind of confused on what's happening here. Same thing like with JD and Raquel. Like they all hadn't decided to turn on Finn right now in that moment. You saw it progress to that point, and then boom, they all jumped and beat him all the way out.
Talk about
Loved
I thought
all of
her
that.
mannerisms was spot on, tremendous. Talking about Liv,
and that's what I loved about it. I know who you were talking about. It was amazing.
That camera shot when
when
he
did the
Dom
bullet
up and she's behind him, and she is looking like, what is happening right now? Because the easy thing would have been was low blow right there to
or
Finn.
Choke him out or something. Yeah, something. Yeah,
right?
Jump on his back.
Jump on his back, and then that's how they get. But let's not forget, Finn and Liv had a relationship years before Dom and Liv did. I also really enjoyed the perspective of, we felt like for the longest, Liv was kind of setting Finn up.
Yeah. Yep.
But when shit came down to shit, in that moment, she is confused. But by the time that segment was over, she completely showed her allegiance and what she was down with. And yeah, you crossed us, you got to go.
Yep. But that's why I thought that the timing was great, because if, let's say, Brock and Roman wasn't coming next week and this would have been the block A or block B of next week's show for them, I would still feel like then now it'd be more predictable. And I would, again, hindsight being 2020, you don't know what it would have been if they didn't do it on Raw. But to see how they all went through that real-time decision making on what side I'm going to be on, I wouldn't have traded that for them to cook one more week. So I was completely happy with it, and I absolutely love the beatdown. My only takeaway on that was, dog, JD, this was your boy. Like, you're gonna have to then do some explaining to him, like,
he's
JD,
the one,
why
right?
you do that.
Right.
Yeah, like out of everybody else, I can kind of get it. Raquel is just a big gal, whatever. Liv, her alliance now is with Dom. Dom is Dom. They've been battling for the alpha of the group. But JD, that's been your boy. Like, you're going to have to show, I would hope, and hopefully it won't take too much from the story between Dom and Finn, but you're going to have to explain to me, JD, why you turn on him so aggressively. Like, of all the people that was in that ring that jumped him, JD should have been like the lightest of them all. But he wasn't.
But JD has always been he's always been the person, the character that it's always about the Judgment Day over anything else. Like majority rules, right? Like JD has always been about the Judgment Day. I don't know if he's ever put himself first. So if it's a situation where we know where Liv and Raquel's loyalty lies at this point, and it's Dom, well, then that's Judgment Day's loyalty, kind of a thing.
But I'm so happy to see this new side of Finn, because not saying this is it, like he's not going to be able to do anything extra after this, but I think he's in a position right now where he can show his importance as a solo singles character in WWE. He's probably never going to be but he's going to be a top mid-carder. And I think he probably always would have been a top mid-carder, but like a dominant top mid-carder for Finn at this point on this new, after he get past this with Dom, I'm really excited to see him off on his own, because again, Finn, I love Finn. Finn is probably one of my favorite wrestlers. So to be able to see him in this light, he has, I think, some major pressure. And I do believe that he will step into it. I don't, though. I will be 100% against. 100% against. Unless they have like the whole Judgment Day involved with it. Maybe like with Raquel and JD. Maybe not with Liv, because she has her own match to worry about at Mania. But unless we know Finn's going to get jumped, I don't want the demon character out, because I think at one point I was begging for the demon character to come out. I don't know if it was Roman or Brock. Who did he face a couple years ago for the same champion, for the Universal Championship? And he didn't bring the demon out. And I'm like, you needed to bring the demon out if you wanted to beat that person.
No, because he wasn't going to win. No, that was the problem. They bastardized the demon character. We saw the demon way too much, and then he was losing matches where he was the demon. He was the demon against
who was that I'm thinking of?
Edge in the Steel Cage match. at WrestleMania in California. And it's like, why is
he
lost, remember? And I was like, okay, well now like we're killing off the demon character. The demon should be like a spoiler. Demon's coming, he's winning. Right now, so I would really love that. Once again, if it's any time to bring them out, you brought something out of me that I've left dormant for years. And at WrestleMania, he comes out and come on, man. You're right. Look, boy,
I don't want that. I still don't want it.
Right there.
I don't want it, but I like talking with you about this kind of stuff because then it kind of opens up my mind on that stuff. But I still don't. On paper, I wouldn't want the demon to be okay. Here we go. On paper, Finn needs to be Dom, flat out. Finn just needs to be Dom. Finn is a better wrestler than Dom. He should be Dom. So to bring out the demon to beat Dom, that to me on paper is not good.
You're saying you don't think you're saying because he doesn't need it.
Correct.
I'm looking at it from a character
and now I see your perspective.
Now this is the jumping off point
there.
Of the singles, right? Like if I don't bring the demon out for this family beef where we've had all these issues and you turned on me and et cetera, then who am I bringing the demon out for?
So then let's just say if they do decide to bring out the demon, then they please tell that story of it, of all what you're saying there, because otherwise I will be mad because again, Finn doesn't need anything extra than Finn to be Dom. Flat out. On paper. He doesn't. But yeah, if you can tell that story, I'll be there for it.
The whole Judgment Day is at ringside.
And that's what I was saying, minus Liv. She has to worry about her match being on, or it could be depending on the night. She could be there too. Yep. Then yes, then you know you're gonna get beat down, so you need a little bit more than you to defend yourself. But that was it.
You said something. Shows you how like my mind works. Demon face paint. I thought about Penta that got the Cody Rhodes pyro special on Monday Night Raw. Good God, man. How much pyro can one man get? He already had a ton of pyro before. And then they added the pyro in the ring too. God bless,
Penta put that in his contract. He didn't say, hey, I'm going to come in as a lucha bro. I just need to have firework pyrotechnics in my entrance.
I'm all about it. And he got a chance to cut that promo, which is good, right? I didn't understand many words from it, but it's not for me.
Right.
Like,
and you feel the intensity. You still feel, you understand. We've watched enough wrestling to know what you're saying in the ring. We just don't know the words you use, but we know the feeling and the sentiment.
And you know how you know he's a good promo, actually? Because I didn't understand his words. You know, of course, the words he was speaking in Spanish. And he still had me. I wasn't waiting for the promo to end. So good for him. I'm happy for him. I already shouted out Ivy now. You know how high I am on Ivy. That was her best look. To hell with what they did with her in the ring in terms of presentation. I've been talking about, like, you can tell they're kind of just playing with her a little bit. And, you know, 1 week she's got straight hair, then she's got curly hair, and then she's wearing this, and then she's wearing that. That was her best look that she's had, total package, from her, you know, outfit to how she looked, you know, just everything. I thought
her dominance in the ring.
Yeah, I thought she was awesome. And I'm excited for Bayley. Bayley gets a one-on-one match with AJ this Monday on Raw, which is cool. Like, if we can get that kind of match, you know, a month before WrestleMania, I don't know who says no to that.
And I don't know if you know, or if this is even fair to ask you to go through your memory bank, Elephant, but you might know because you're Elephant. Have they wrestled in front of a paying crowd before? You talking about Bayley and AJ Lee?
This is it.
So this is cool. This is a dream match.
This is a bit huge, Bayley, right?
Yep.
I know a lot of stuff is done for, you know, rage bait and clickbait, but the Observer, they put up a tweet yesterday talking about, you know, we're 6 weeks away from WrestleMania and they're watching Raw and they got this women's gauntlet match. Like, what are we doing? You know, like, creative's not, let me not put words in their mouth. It was more about, like, what are we doing? WrestleMania is 6 weeks away. They keep changing their mind. We don't know what matches are on WrestleMania, but we're doing this gauntlet number one contenders match for an IC title match. And I know, once again, match. Right, things are, you don't know what's real with somebody's thoughts and, like, what's just being used for content. Let's put it out there and see what happens. But, like, we've talked for years surrounding Mania hype stalling out too soon, peaking too soon. I remember a few years, you know, when Vince was running creative toward the end, and not even toward the end, like maybe 3 or 4 years before the end, where Mania hype capped like 3 weeks out. And they were limping into WrestleMania in terms of a hype perspective. We should not imagine if we knew every single match right now that's on WrestleMania 5 weeks out.
Right, and that's fair, but we need to know some. And I think right now we're in a good space right now, being 5 weeks out.
Yeah.
Like when it was 9 weeks out, it was like, oh, this is not that good, y'all. Y'all WrestleMania is only a couple months away. What y'all doing here? But now being the 5.5 weeks out, I think we're in a good place. You're right. We don't need to be like AEW and have the match announced the week before Mania. I get that, but have a couple, the ones that's just gonna sell the tickets. Or buy the pay-per-views or PLEs, whatever you just have your couple marquee ones, and then you can build and tell stories into the other ones.
If we're having this conversation 3 weeks from now, then there's a problem. We're not gonna be having this conversation 3 weeks from now. Or you still gotta do TV. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm good on that. And I don't know if Tony Khan just woke up last night, but boy, Tony added 26 matches last night to the Revolution card this weekend.
It's 12 matches on this card.
He added 26 matches, and I'm here for it. Right? I'm sitting there, I'm just like, yo, nobody could ever say you don't get your money's worth on these AEW pay-per-views. I just bitched and moaned about Elimination Chamber, or not Elimination Chamber, but Chamber having 5 matches in 3 hours and 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And Tony gonna fit in 26 matches. Granted, it's gonna be 24 hours.
He be having like festivals. He be like having festivals.
He don't even play.
Actually, that's what I need to like think about it in my head. It's a festival. So they have like Rolling Loud and all these different names of these festivals. That's what he puts on. When he puts on his pay-per-views, they're festivals. And it kind of is like that. You're only gonna kind of watch or come to see those certain performers.
I was about to say that, right? So even more than that, on TikTok, I think it was TikTok, when we had talked, may have been last pay-per-view back in December. And I said, like, as much as I want to get mad about the length of these AEW pay-per-views, I can't, because Tony came out and made the comment of, he knew back in the day, he could only get X amount of pay-per-views. He doesn't want somebody, a kid or whoever, to feel that same way, where this is the only pay-per-view that they can order for the year, and then it's a dud. They don't get their money's worth. So he's like, we give them everything, every single pay-per-view, and just how incredible if every business was like that. But a lot of the comments under that was kind of what you just said. Not really the festival, the piece, but they were just like, when I get tired, I stop and I watch the rest of it on Monday.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, sure. Of course. I just think it takes away from a show when you don't watch it in its totality. And then not everybody can watch everything in its totality. But a lot of times for me, it's like a movie where you stop watching the movie, and say if this is a regular, 2-hour movie, and you stop it and watch the rest the next day. If you don't pause it at that right spot, even I think any spot you pause it at, it takes away from the roller coaster that you need to be on during the movie. But I feel like the same thing with a wrestling show too. I feel like if somebody watches a wrestling show straight throughout, they watch everything from match 1 to the main event with no breaks, compared to somebody who has either missed a match because they didn't like it, or they couldn't see it, or they pause it and they come back to it hours later, or the next day or 2 days, you're going to have 2 totally different experiences. Like, we can't even really have a conversation about that show because of how you watched it compared to how I consumed it.
Absolutely. Unless you're getting into the nitty gritty of, okay, the this match work rate. That's different, right? When you're talking about a whole show in totality, you can't. You just really can't. Because like you said, in a movie example, you can say, remember when they finally did their kiss scene? Then y'all can talk about that, because you can talk about that specific in the facts. But when you talk about the whole movie itself, your journey, your roller coaster ride wasn't the same as mine.
Wasn't the same. I've done that with movies by mistake. I've done that with video games. I can't remember what video game it was years ago, but it was a video game. It was, you said, well, all of them. Don't you say?
Like, I'm not gonna lie. There'd be so many times you would pick up a game and then you start playing. I'm like, so where you at in the story now? You're like, actually, I don't even know. Actually,
I can't remember. So I gotta go back to YouTube, right? Or go to IGN or whatever that is to look and see.
The story. I'm like, what's the story about?
I wasn't even about to say that. Oh, that's a whole different situation. I'm talking about that time where I'm playing it was a story game, action game, or adventure game, and I stopped, right? Because I know I'm toward the end, but I don't think I'm at the end. So I stopped for that day and whatever. I don't know if it was dinner or whatever we were doing, but I was like, all right, this is a good place to stop. Or no, I had to stop for whatever it was. Come on a few days later, load that game up, into the game. I was like, this is just wasted hours upon hours because I don't even care. I mean, I'm talking, I didn't even do another like fight scene. There was nothing more to it. I cut the game on. It went to the cut scene, you know, like the end thing, and then credits roll. And I was like, yo.
Well, first off, that game sucked then, because if you didn't know that you were fighting the final boss.
But no, I'm saying, I think whatever it was, I had to go. So it wasn't no point of like, oh, let me just finish this. It was a situation of like, all right, time to go. Yeah, I gotta remember what game that was,
movies. It's like you have to hit pause, and then because somebody got to go do something, and then we're watching stuff that's streaming. So you have these ads. It's like 3 minutes, and then finally you have to sit through the 3 minutes of ads only for it to come back, and then the credits over. That's happened a few times too in TV shows.
Yeah, they've done a better job of putting ads where that doesn't happen, but it's the same thing. Same thing. Before we get to AEWs, I do want to talk about Revolution real quick, which is this Sunday. I got another story about WWE. We kind of hit on it a little bit, I believe a couple weeks ago or maybe last week, and it's around Brock Lesnar. So it looks like his match for WrestleMania is allegedly set. And according to, I think PW Insider had reported this, consensus among WWE sources that Obafemi is expected to be the person who challenges Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. It says, we've had some of who have asked about the potential of it being Gunther, but no one we've spoken with believes that could be the direction. Now, I can't remember, I believe it was on the pod where I talked about how I don't know if that's the right move or not to do Oba and Brock at WrestleMania, because we know Brock is talking about retiring at SummerSlam in August. And my thoughts have and always will be, and we'll see what creative looks like if they decide to do it, is that it needs to be a undefeated Brock Lesnar for this time period since he's been back, which would be the whole reason why he squashed John Cena on his retirement run, to fight Gunther, to make that as big as possible, just so Gunther can beat him, retire him, and then Obafemi beats Gunther and takes that equity. I think you lose a ton if you have Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. You have Obafemi mow through Brock Lesnar, which if they were going to have a match should happen. I'm not saying it needs to be a squash, right? But Oba should decisively beat Brock Lesnar if and when they work. And we know Brock is not there anywhere close to regularly or semi-regularly. So his last two matches are probably WrestleMania and SummerSlam this year. I just don't know how you tell a story that is convincing of Gunther being the career killer coming off of Brock losing to Obafemi at WrestleMania. So I'm interested to see. So, I mean, what's your thoughts on, of course, we all want to see Oba and Brock. And we all want to see Oba beat Brock. But if he's done in August, I just think that takes a lot of steam away from what Gunther and Brock Lesnar should be and can be if Brock has completely remained strong. And word is that they feel the same way. They being, I'm sure, Heyman and Brock, is that he should be kept strong, i.e. shouldn't lose before he gets to his retirement match.
There's a lot there to unpack. I wrote down some things that you said. We, as fans, people who can book it, of course, it's going to make more sense if we know for a fact that Brock is done in the summer. And that, like you said, that's 4 months away from WrestleMania. So he's probably only going to really have 1 to 2 more programs that he's going to be involved with people in. It would only make more sense. The equity is there that Brock goes undefeated until, boom, he's done with his career. Gunther lay him out. You put all this equity into that. But we've seen, because I guess you're thinking is Brock can't lose twice because it is not going to have the same effect if he loses at SummerSlam. But they did that with John Cena. When we came on here, you were really strong on it too, with John Cena shouldn't have lost to Dom. Especially if he's going to lose to Gunther. You're taking all that heat away from Gunther. But they did it anyways. And you kind of, being 6-7 months removed from that, I think, from the Dom one, I kind of don't really remember like John losing to Dom. So I guess as time goes on, you kind of don't remember. But yeah, would it made it more impactful for Gunther at that time? Yeah. Now, I don't know. I say that to say I don't think that they're looking at it that way. I think they're looking at, we want to build the strongest WrestleMania card that we can build. And that's why we're here with Brock and Oba now. Again, in my world, I love your idea. But then now on that drawing board, who is going to be up for Brock? Who right now in these 5 weeks is going to be able to sell Brock?
Seth
really,
Rollins.
probably nobody.
Seth Rollins. And it's Seth Rollins because Adam Pearce said on Monday, he stated, you're still not clear yet. Well, if it's a, what are they calling it? Open challenge.
Yeah.
Right? If it's an open challenge, anybody can take the challenge, right?
Yeah.
Meaning that
I see.
I accept the open challenge even if I'm not cleared.
Correct. Because by the time 5 weeks from now, I would, quote unquote, be cleared.
Or maybe not. If we're talking about a storyline. And now maybe Seth Rollins came back too soon if Brock Lesnar destroys Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. I'm only looking at, once again, if the main event of SummerSlam in Minnesota is going to be Gunther versus Brock Lesnar, that now has to be more important than anything else we do outside of the main events on this WrestleMania. So how can I make that show the biggest show? And yeah, I'm not a major fan of Seth Rollins coming back from injury just to lose to Brock Lesnar.
Right.
This is not me being the biggest Brock Lesnar fan in the world. Absolutely not. I'm saying from a perspective of storylines and having everybody strong, because nobody's going to care if Seth Rollins, who was not medically cleared, gets beat by Brock Lesnar. Hell, probably gives him more sympathy. Right. And we got to pay off these hoodie guys, these 50 hoodie guys that's running around the ring.
Oh my God.
How I would do it, how I would do that is we got all the hoodie guys. And maybe that is what Brock is doing on his appearances, is he's grabbing up hoodie guys. F5 this hoodie guy. Pulls the hoodie off, it's not Seth Rollins. Seth gets away again, right? We do that for a couple weeks until he finally gets his hand on Brock, on Seth Rollins. He finally gets his hand on Seth Rollins, and he does whatever he does to him, right? Multiple F5s, maybe one F5. I don't know what it is, because remember, he's not medically clear. So you can get away with a couple of F5s with that type of impact. And Adam Pearce runs in, and we do the whole thing, right? At this point, you're going to have to give Oba a match, so we know it's not Oba Femi. And then Brock comes out for WrestleMania, and Seth Rollins answers the challenge. Because other than that, there's no point of having 50 black hoodie guys in the ring, and we're doing the which way did he go? Where is the real hoodie guy? That is how you pay that off. That's how you get to that point.
Man, book that. Somebody needs to pay you. And that also means pay me indirectly as well. But someone needs to pay you for that. That's a great storytelling right there. Quick moment of levity. The funniest tweet that I saw about the black hooded guys was, "This is my stomach after eating Taco Bell."
Jesus Christ.
When they were running around in the ring.
Wow.
The first time they did it, I was like, what the hell am I watching right now? What has become of this company? The second time they did it, when he left, it looked a little bit better and made a little bit more sense. But the first time they did it, I didn't quite understand what was happening.
Fat guy. I was like, brother must have lied on, because you saw, I was like, brother lied on his job application. I'm sure they said they were looking for independent workers that have a similar height and build to Seth Rollins. My man said, check.
I love us. I love us. Listen.
He said he turned down an opportunity.
But I will learn how to do the job. I ain't qualified for it.
No,
but
and
for
of course he shows up
seriousness,
and he's like, damn, we got to use him. You know what I'm saying? You said he's sending somebody else's pictures. That's crazy. Resourceful.
okay,
That's what we are.
it really is. That's what we are. But off of that is going to. I love that. I wish we could get that, but I think it's going to be Oba and Brock. Then, based on how you kind of just mentioned that's a couple sources have been saying that it's going to be Oba and Brock, and Oba's going to lose. And why Oba's going to lose? Because he's just not time yet. He hasn't had enough experience on the main roster yet to beat somebody as big as Brock. And people are going to go crazy about it. But just like in the match with him and Rusev, I thought that match was a lot closer than when it needed to be. Now, I also felt like they protected Rusev in that too, but I think they also kind of brought Oba down a little bit. Again, Oba still is
Did you
massive.
really? Really?
Yeah, for sure. Yes. I felt
Really?
like Oba and what I can clamor for and clap my hands for is that yes, they made Rusev look good. They did. They did not take it. They didn't make him just job or lose to Oba. But it also was like, why is Oba still wrestling? Why is this match still going on? I did feel that. Like
Because
Oba's
it
supposed to
is
be Oba.
Rusev, and they did
I get
promote
that.
this match as being two heavy hitters. I thought it was
Yep.
the right amount of time and the right offense for both. I really did. I think I saw some things going back and forth actually on social media about some people thought it was too quick of a squash for Oba, that they completely killed Rusev. So it's interesting to hear you have the other side of it. Like, yo, that match was a little too long. I thought it was right where it needed to be.
I thought it would being objective here. Yes, I thought that it was a really good match. I thought you saw the sizes, you saw the moves that they did. I loved the match itself. I'm just saying, if I'm Oba fan and I'm super Oba is the man, he's the truth, blah blah blah. A little bit of his mystique went away because it took him so long to beat Rusev. You could still have a match that you beat somebody up and it didn't have to take that long, where it doesn't necessarily have to be a squash.
Rusev's not a job guy.
Clearly,
you're
we
asking
know.
him the job to him. Yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah.
I think that was good enough, but you can't bury the lead here. You cannot bury the lead. You said Brock is going to beat Obafemi at WrestleMania.
Yep,
if that happens, which we're already going to do, you know, the night or the next morning recap on that show, that actually I kind of hope that happens just to see Twitter,
the reactions,
and every other social media just melt
They're
down.
going to boycott. So forget all the shit that WWE has done, right? Shout out to Lash recognizing Women International Month. I love that. We couldn't give Black History Month, but thank you for that. Shout out Lash. But yeah, they are going to boycott WWE. If Oba loses, when he loses against Brock.
I do wonder, like, if it was this or that, and WWE was like, all right,
you get women or you get the blacks.
Oh no, well, we already know it's women because they don't believe in shouting out Black History Month. If they said, hey, look, you get one or the other. Either you get Brock and Oba, but Brock's going to win.
Mm-hmm.
Or you don't get Brock and Oba at all.
Like in life?
Yeah, because if he's wrapping up in August, I don't know when you'd actually do that match.
Oh, right. Yeah, right. No, then this is right. Again,
That's great.
I'm not okay. Let me be careful with what I'm saying here, because I still don't like Brock, but I'm looking at just characters. If you are going to put the two of them together, because then I would love them to see Brock and Gunther later, all that other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oba can afford to lose against Brock because this is his rookie year on the main roster. No one's taking away the fact that he's not this massive, giant god of a man. He can still be all of that and still lose against him.
I'm just thinking about the reactions. If this happens.
I mean, I'll probably beat them too.
You know what?
I might be that as well. I might come in hot.
I want it. No, I want it now. I want it now.
Just
Brock Lesnar beats Obafemi.
That's petty.
Because actually what you're saying, because you are spot dead on correct about this. We're not running a Goldberg undefeated streak. Because once again, the only reason why you're correct about this is if they're doing Gunther and Brock at SummerSlam. If we're not talking about Gunther, you know, with the career killer, we're not talking about Brock retiring in Minnesota this year at SummerSlam. This is way off the beaten path. No way in the world, in any form, fashion, does it make sense for Brock Lesnar to beat Obafemi. But in this situation, in the year of our Lord and Savior 2026, Brock Lesnar beating Obafemi. Oof. Good God, man.
Told you it'd be a boycott. It's going to be a boycott. So their backlash is not going to be nobody there. They're going to bring on a new meaning of backlash.
I think we'll mean a lot of it will show itself Monday. He's in the building, and then they even teased on his graphic. Cole was like, and it'd be interesting to see his thoughts about what Seth Rollins did to Paul Heyman. So we'll see. We'll see how they play out. Mm-hmm. I want to really quick. I want to talk about a comment that was left on our TikTok this week. Shout out to everybody who follows us and does all that kind of good stuff. Let me pull it up here. It was on the video surrounding. I talked about, that whole convoluted storyline with Cody and Drew was strictly due to them not wanting to give Roman his win at WrestleMania against Cody, and so not doing Cody versus Roman 3. And somebody commented and said, Roman is saying what we have been saying for 2 years. It ain't the same without him in the bloodline. And I made a comment on it, and one guy said, Antoine Spearman said, honestly, bro, I don't think the current fan base got that much patience anymore to build something that long again. And I just said that's a great talking point. I was going to bring it up on today's pod. And I said, I think the fan base could be down for it, but the start-stop storylines have been a lot in the past year plus. Without doing any research, without doing any Googles, without doing any chat GPTs. These are the storylines that I wrote down that have been dropped or have not finished that were major, significant storylines at some point on WWE TV. So for me, this is not a situation of the fan base doesn't want to give time for these storylines. It is almost every storyline on WWE TV has overran its expiration date. So these are not even storylines where we're like, yo, they feuding again. This is not Damian Priest and Aleister Black, where the storyline was a legit 8 months. Right? And it really didn't help either person. I don't think Priest got bigger or better because of it. And I don't think Aleister is in a bigger or better position. They're both fine. They're both good on SmackDown. I'm just saying, though, right? When you're in that long of a storyline and build, somebody should elevate. These are just the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that came off the top of my head when I saw that.
Elephant incoming.
Number 1 was LA Knight. We still waiting for him to cast something in. Right?
You said
a title opportunity.
You should have something.
Money in the Bank
win,
something.
Well, he messed up his Money in the Bank opportunity per Unreal.
Well,
go ahead.
Yeah, per Unreal. Jay and Roman. They started teasing Jay and Roman, and then they completely went away from it. Chad Gable and Gunther.
Yes.
I'll never let that one go.
Never let that go.
I would never let that one go. And then Chad just gives his IC title shot away, basically kind of like the Seth Rollins, or not Seth, but Sammy beats Gunther at WrestleMania. And we never got the finality of Chad Gable and Gunther after Chad Gable cut one of the best promos I'd heard in years backstage, where he said, I swear on my kid's life. And hopefully his kid is thoughts and prayers to his kid. But maybe because he's not black, he can get away with saying, I swear to God. Only black folks got that power of saying, I swear to God, if it don't work, we all go to hell.
If a black person tells you, swear to God, that is the truth. There's no lie detector test. There's nothing else. If they say, I swear to God as a black person, that's the truth. Well, swear to God over the age of 35. Young kids, they probably say swear to God. Nah, they don't care.
Right. Or no, they say on God.
35 and older?
And it's like, what's on God? It ain't the same as swear to God. We all know the power of swear to God.
If
you say swear to God, and you're wrong, you're going to hell. You are absolutely without a shadow of a doubt going to hell.
Real talk. I had to go to confession one day. And you know what I had to confess my sins for? I told my priest, I said, I confess my sins because I told somebody, I swear to God. And my priest, you could tell he laughed. He giggled at me like, were you here for that? He wasn't black. So he didn't quite understand it.
He didn't get it.
He didn't quite understand it. But he told me to say 10 Hail Marys and not to say it again if it ain't true.
Yeah, man, like Adam Cole used to always say, and I swear to God in his promos.
We don't believe you. We don't believe you.
Adam Cole,
we don't believe you.
You going to hell if you were black. But like, I think Adam Cole's 100% white because every time he said it, like it didn't, like you ain't doing that. And I swear to God, I'm winning the championship this week. No, you're not. No, you're not, Adam Cole. He probably got some black friends though. I'm sure Xavier Woods or something put him up on game.
Yeah.
It was like, hey man, if you say
like,
swear to God, all the black folks are going to put the money on you.
Yeah.
He 0 for 62 with swear for God promos. God bless. So Chad, Gable, and Gunther.
Yep.
Jade, Meechin, and B-Fab.
But is it at this Friday? I think something's coming up this Friday. Meechin and Jade, I think.
It is. We
But
still
we know
haven't
it's not
gotten
gonna
to the
amount
end
to
of it. We still haven't gotten to the end of it.
Right.
Can we forget about when they brought R-Truth back as Ron Killings for that 1 week?
Yo.
And he comes back telling jokes a couple weeks after that? I know there's more. But I'm just saying those were all significant story threads at some point or another on WWE TV that did not get paid off in the last year and a half. So I don't think this is on the fan base at all. This is maybe some of the fan base losing trust into, hey, are we actually going to get the payoff of this? Is this going anywhere? But no, fan base would take the storyline.
And I would say this too, because I get what the person is getting at. Kind of like with my issue with Brock when he had the championship before Roman, and people use a proverbial holding it hostage. I think if you can have a big enough storyline that can be long like a bloodline, not the bloodline, because we can't reinvent the same thing that happened. You have to do something new. So a new great storyline that goes a long time. I feel maybe for people, like if it's not being like a belt or a title being held hostage and just off of the name equity alone and the people and the players that's involved, like that can be a long-term storytelling because it's not really interfering with the other stuff of you're not holding the whole show hostage. Where with the bloodline was the best time to be a wrestling fan, like for real, for real. We can also say that there was a lot of like outside of the top 2-3 matches per show, everything else kind of just fell to the wayside. The bloodline, anything that was near and touching the bloodline was top up here. Everything else was way down here. So I can see where somebody's saying if bloodline's not your cup of tea of wrestling, then you're like, oh, I hate this product because everything is about this. So I would agree. I think that the fan base is not patient enough to be able to have another situation like that where all of the time, resources, and energy is put into this one thing up top and everything else is left to fend for itself. I don't think that the fan base have the patience for that. But if you have it to where the title's not involved, when you can still put energy and writing into everything else on the card, I think long-term storytelling is the best for fan base. Hell, people love the Marvel, the MCU. How many years has it been? How many movies has it been? We can be there for, and I'm not trying to say like a comic book movie.
Right.
This is the same as a wrestling, but it's something that's like what you like fantasy. So I would kind of consider us kind of close as far as what we like to consume for entertainment. But I think we could be there for it. You just don't have something held for hostage and then also still put energy into other storylines. I think we would be there.
And everything's not meant to be long form either though, right? Like there's incredible stopgaps. There's incredible 2-3 week feuds that make sense. It's like, hey, we needed that real quick, side quest. Everything's not meant to be
like the tag, like perfect example. AJ Styles and I forgot. In their tag team match. Yeah, Dragon Lee. In their tag team, that was never on my bingo card that I would enjoy a tag team match of AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. I ended up liking it. Liked it a lot, actually.
Just one tag team match, not the tag team title reign.
No, I'm sorry. Their reign, their whole program together. Sorry, just that one match was very good.
Just the one match. That was it.
I enjoyed that, and I didn't think that I would. I actually probably you would have told me.
Has anybody heard from Dragon Lee since he's been demasked?
Beat up?
Is he still in America? Anyway, AEW Revolution. Let's hit it real quick. Because there's 26 matches, we can't go through all the matches.
12.
Okay. But let's just run down the matches. Tell us who the matches are. And let's do like 3 and 3. Let's do 3 matches that you think will be the best. And then let's do like 3 matches that you are most looking forward to on this card. I do want to preface really quick while you pull that up and while you're looking for it. Shout out to AEW because they are on a really strong roll right now with television. We watched Dynamite last night. I was locked in for Dynamite. I was more excited to watch last night's Dynamite than I had been Raw on Monday or in the last few SmackDowns. I am really enjoying AEW's product. And I appreciate when they try to do things differently. I'm about to go on a really quick tangent. So last night, the last segment was the press conference between MJF and Hangman Adam Page. They always called it a press conference from last week when they promoted it. A press conference, not a contract signing. It was called a press conference. And we can have a conversation all day if the press conference worked or not, right? If did it work, quote unquote, did it work? We can have that conversation. But shout out to AEW for trying something different. We haven't seen a press conference on wrestling TV in a long time. And it was something that used to be a thing on wrestling TV.
See, I'd never seen that before. So
that's
that must,
right.
you must
so they're
be
bringing
really
things
dating
back.
yourself there.
Absolutely. Yeah, like, and that used to be a thing. I enjoyed it for what it was because I knew where it was going to end. So they set this press conference up. If you didn't see it, they set this press conference up. They have legit content creators and wrestling media in the room.
Conference of the press.
And you start hearing the crowd boo. Right? They're booing a little bit. They're booing a little bit. Now, mind you, this is why I can't stand certain wrestling fans. This crowd just got a very strong Dynamite show. They also are getting Collision taped. And they are booing that the press conference that is going to end up in the arena is not in front of their eyes right now, and it's on the screen. Rhodesia can attest when they are sitting there in the press conference, and I starting to hear boos. Now remember, AEW fan base is supposed to be the most smart fan base in the world, right? So then I'm like, okay, all right, y'all, I don't appreciate this because common sense is going to tell you we're going to get physicality, and they're making their way into the arena, so you're going to be able to see the physicality. So then the boos turn into "fuck you, Tony" chants, talking about Tony Khan. And we're watching it, and Matt goes, well, that, they don't mean that like that. They just are saying that is because they're upset. But that is wild to start a "fuck you, Tony" chant because an MJF Adam Page press conference is not in the middle of the ring. We have lost the plot in this entire thing of what a "fuck you" chant should be. If you want to say "fuck you, Don" every time Don Callis comes out, God bless, whatever. If you want to call that heel heat, I don't, because they say it every single week when he's not doing anything. Don Callis ain't hated like that. Sorry, he's not. They're playing along. I'm cool with that. But to go "fuck you, Tony" for that, I thought that was a little overboard, right? Like, if you want to boo and then just say, I don't know, whatever. Point is, be better. Be better, fans, because that's crazy talk.
I'm happy I didn't quite hear the "fuck you, Tony" chants. I just heard the booing when it first started. And I'm just thinking to myself, first off, I was like, they probably just need to mute the crowd at this point. And then I'm like, why they gotta mute the crowd? Like, crowd, why y'all so stupid? Like, what? Like, it's a press conference. I don't know about last week. I just know this whole Dynamite broadcast I've been watching, they've been talking about a press conference. And to my knowledge, correct me, was that was the last thing that was on the show, wasn't it? I think that was the last thing they show. So, but again, you said they got a Collision taping, so you shouldn't even be tripping. But to me, I'm just like, why are y'all booing? It's been a press conference.
Now, Matt did bring up a good point too. He said if they're there to see MJF and he's the top guy as Roman Reigns or CM Punk or Cody Rhodes is the top guy at a WWE taping, and they're advertised and they're not seen out in the ring and everything they're doing is backstage segments, cool, I get that. But then my retort to that was, there is nobody in the world who had and has a wrestling promotion that is more fan service than Tony Khan. Do we really believe he was going to have MJF and Hangman not in front of the paying crowd on the go home show when they are backstage? If that was done via satellite, cool, got it. Just like use common sense. And I know, I know that's me watching on a different lens and putting 2 + 2 = 4 together before it happens. I get that too. But I was just like, man, come on, we gotta be better.
You could be, so that's a good valid point because you're right. If I spend my hard-earned money because this is all I can afford, you're in my town, so I'm gonna go see it. This is my favorite wrestler, and I don't see them. Okay, I give you that, but you don't say "fuck you, Tony." That's just more like a boo. We can't see them or something like that. I mean, to go like the "fuck you, Tony," that's like the highest extremes. But 26 matches divided by 2.
Oh yes, man.
Actually, -1. So we have 12 matches as of right now. So who knows? Well, no, I guess Collision's done too, right? So I guess this is it. This is
yes. Well, Collision has been taped. I don't know
but it's not. Yeah, right. You're right.
It'd be on
we
Saturday.
Don't know what came from that. Yes. As of right now, we have 12 matches.
I did all that putting over, but I do gotta. This is where we do need a little bit of quality control, and there's bad storylines everywhere. The Willow Nightingale promo and decision to have her work twice.
Woo!
Which is fine. The massive miss is you have her working Lena Cross in the pre-show, 0 Hour, for her TBS championship. And then she's going to work Lena Cross and Megan Bayne for the tag team match during the pay-per-view. We know Megan Bayne and Lena Cross is going to win the tag team titles. Without a shadow of a doubt. That's happening. And I love Lena Cross and Megan Bayne together as a tag team. I like Penelope, but boy, Lena Cross and Megan Bayne, they are tough in every good way. They look great. Their styles mesh more, in my opinion, than what Megan and Lena is. And Lena's a big girl too, so you want to have somebody who's a little bit smaller that can bump and take the pinfalls and things of that nature to keep Megan looking strong. But the problem with this storyline is, in no world does a babyface want to fight the same person twice. That's when all you do is you have somebody else do a run-in last night during the match, or somebody else, try to get at Willow last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, and she cuts the promo after she wins. She did a great job of connecting the dots. Did Mexico, did this. I know it's crazy, but I'm kind of feeling it. Let's do the tag match. And whoever X other wrestler is that's not going to win on 0 Hour, I see you've been talking, you know how she gets. I see you've been talking smack too. She doesn't do the cussing thing a lot, right? I see you've been talking smack too.
That's why I love her so much.
How about you show up at 0 Hour and you can get some of the champ? And then she walks away. And then you just have Lena and Megan Bayne jump her in 0 Hour so she's not healthy, so they can drop the title, and then you can tell the story with Willow if that's where you're going, and her tag partner if she's upset because she took 2 matches in one night, whatever. You don't have her work the same person in both matches.
Well, here's my thing. You don't have to work. You should not have to pull double duty if there's already 11 matches on the card. You shouldn't be the 12th match on the card. If you're like, it'd be different if it's only like 7 y'all in a company total. So in order to put on a long pay-per-view, y'all, everybody doing double duty, it to me is just unnecessary, because like you said, you could even have just in 0 Hour them having a promo backstage and something like that happen. She didn't have to have a match either. Like, it's just unnecessary.
Well, she's got to have the match because she's going to go into the tag team match not at 100%.
Okay. But you can also get jumped earlier. But that's fine. I get it. That's whatever. But
because if they are going with the storyline with her and, why am I forgetting her name? Her tag partner. Willow's tag partner.
Let me look it up.
And my apologies. How am I having a brain fart like that? Good God.
Harley, because she looked so different last night.
Harley Cameron.
She looked so different.
So if they are going to do a split up storyline or anything like that, this is all Willow's doing. You didn't just get jumped. That's why you got to have the match at the pre-show if we want to tell a story surrounding you bit off too much more than you can chew and it's your fault type of thing. I don't know if they're going to do that or not.
Fair.
That may not be the case, but
they should, because I think even when with Harley's reaction of that backstage when she said that she was going to have those matches and put the tag teams up, she kind of like, whoa, hold on, like you didn't ask me about it. So I can definitely
no, but she didn't know. She said, "Oh, I guess here we go."
No.
I'm saying that's what she said. I was waiting for her to kind of have like a look on her face, like.
But she did before she's talked. Her face was like, okay, and rolling with it. But point is, my only issue, I get your beef 100%. My only beef is you don't have to pull double duty if there's already 11 other matches on the card. That's all I'm saying.
But you do if we want to give everybody his money's worth. Let's go, Willow. Willow's the workhorse.
Let's go.
All right, so
let's talk about 0 hour.
I got the card in front of me too, just because 12 matches is too much for me to remember. So let's do the 3 matches you're most looking forward to first.
Okay, so
you go one, then I go one. Of course, for me, main event, MJF, Hangman Adam Page,
yes,
Texas Death Match. I think they have done a phenomenal job of building this match. That video package they showed before the press conference, I was like, okay, we're starting to cook up now. We started to cook with gasoline, with the production and setting things up. If you hadn't watched AEW TV for the last couple months, you got everything you needed. Last couple years, really, because they went all the way back to when the company first started. And I mean, they really pulled from a lot of stuff for MJF and Hangman. Texas Death Match, we know MJF is not this type of wrestler in storyline, right? But everything they put in front of him, he has the best of. Iron Man match, whatever the case may be, right? And I think this is going to be no different. There is just no way I see MJF losing, because we saw, and we still need to see, him and Omega. We saw a face-to-face with him and Kyle Fletcher. We need that match now. He's got about 4 or 5 matches that we still need to see one-on-one. Swerve, we need that. Like, this is all baked into this storyline of MJF and his second title run. TV has been significantly better since he's been champion. Even the stuff that's not involving the championship has been better, because I think he's on top.
So you're saying that the champion, the on-top champion, makes the show better, huh?
For AEW, yes. For WWE, I don't know if it matters or not. And for my money, the end game is going to be MJF and Ospreay in Wembley at All In. That's where Ospreay gets the World Heavyweight Championship. Yeah. So like, we get about 4 or 5 other really awesome matches with MJF and these top stars before we get to that crowning moment of Ospreay in Wembley. That's how you build that up. But we talked about equity earlier with Brock and Gunther and Oba. There's the equity for Ospreay. All those guys MJF beat, and if he loses to Ospreay in his hometown, in their biggest show of the year, it writes itself. But so I don't see MJF losing. But boy, how they get out of this storyline of Hangman never challenging for the world championship, we could deep dive that now. No need to do that, right? They can easily have somebody, Tony Khan can say, whatever, like, we change our mind years from now, whatever. But the last question at that press conference yesterday was, what happens if you don't win? And it was a look on Hangman's face. That's the story of what happens now when Hangman can't go after the championship anymore. So, of course, I think MJF is going to win, but boy, I think that match is going to be crazy.
I just can't picture a world without Hangman not going for the heavyweight championship unless he's all WWE. I don't know, like, why he would do this, but
all
again,
WWE.
But here we are, right? I mean, I'm excited. I'm intrigued. I don't agree with it. Just like some other people said to him, like, you want to do this, like this? Okay, whatever. That I would agree. That is probably be my top 3 most looking forward matches. I would probably say the other 2 matches. One I'm going to surprise you on, but the next one that I'm like excited to see is going to be Jon Moxley and Takeshita. I think that's going to be, as long as he doesn't have to get so bloody, because sometimes he just gets too graphic for me and I have to turn away watching his matches, him being Jon Moxley. But I am really looking forward to that match. And here's another match that I'm looking really forward to. This is kind of like not bashing the person, but this is it. It's going to be with Toni Storm and Marina Shafir.
I'm not surprised at all.
I feel like Tony's going to be able to make her look really good. And I think this is it. Like, you have the look, you have the intensity, body looks great, and you leave a lot to desire for in the ring. Let's just see, though, like, what kind of match you can put on with somebody like a Toni Storm. So that'll probably be my 3rd most looking forward to match.
This is such a strong card. I'm just looking at all these matches.
Usually they are. But usually they are.
Yeah, this is a strong card. So I'm going to go just different because Moxley and Takeshita could be in my top 3, but you call that one, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go, of course, FTR and Young Bucks. I think this has been the best storyline they've had as a feud on AEW TV.
In the entirety of AEW?
Yeah, they involve when they have had a match. Their feuds together.
Right.
FTR and Young Bucks.
Yeah,
we never got a chance to talk about it, but they put hands on the Bucks' younger, older brother. Which, poor guy, like...
I'm not about to bash my man.
Okay,
I'm about to laugh so hard when you go. I want you to get it off so I can laugh. I just go to purgatory. I'm not going to hell all the way. I'm just going to purgatory.
I'll keep it moving.
No, we'll talk about it. Hold on, wait. No, I'll talk about him. Damn, how's he their little brother? Like, when you think about, like, somebody having a hard life, you know, like, usually somebody maybe don't have a lot of money growing up.
Brother pulled up ringside, 22 years old, looking like an 87-year-old. And it's like, how do you feel when you don't have the genetics, you ain't got the hair follicles, and you don't have the athleticism? Because we ain't never even heard of you.
Let me stop. He may not.
And the bad part about it is, like, their dad was a singer, right? He played an instrument.
Yeah, no, you're right.
What does his brother do? What did their brother do besides just be old?
Yeah, hey, he an old spirit. That's all it is.
No, man. See, now I gotta
old spirit in a young man body.
I gotta Google.
Young spirit, old spirit. Let me stop.
I'm gonna go Young Bucks brother. The thing, whatever. I'll do that on my own free time. It's not gonna pull anything up. So again, so I got that as my second one, and we know the match is gonna be like ridiculously good.
Yeah,
and I think the third one I'm gonna go with. It's a tie.
No, you gotta pick one because then we gotta go to 3 best matches. So just pick one.
Okay, all right. So cool. 2 out of 3 falls. Tekla and Chris Statlander.
Wow. Got it. Okay. Because
I don't think that's going to be one of the best matches. It could be. I don't think it's going to be top 3 because the other match, so then that'll lead us right to 3 matches that we think will be the best, was Bandito and Andrade. Oh, boy. That could be the match we talk about. We're going to talk about a lot of these matches because we know, like...
No, I agree.
They give them time and such, but that match is going to be special. I do think that match is going to be special. So I got that as number 1. Of course, I got MJF Hangman up in that top 3. And then the third one, I got a feeling that Tornado Trios match, they're going to do something very, like, Darby Allin's in it, right? So the Dogs and Roddy, Orange Cassidy, and Darby. But the third one I am going to go with... Man, give me Brody King and Swerve.
Wow. Okay.
Swerve is a super strong pay-per-view wrestler. This is like, I think, Brody's big highlighted singles match. So you know they're going to do something. And the whole thing is most dangerous guy in AEW. You made a comment about Moxley. If we were betting over and under, I would have an over that I don't think Moxley's bleeding. We're going to see blood, of course, in the Texas Death Match. We're going to see blood in most dangerous man match. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be surprised to see blood in maybe Statlander and Tekla. So that's 3. Yeah. They've done a really good job of, like, not everybody bleeding in the shows and not everything just being thrown against the kitchen, wall and kitchen sink in every single match. So I would actually say that Mox maybe does not bleed. But now I say that he'll be bleeding before he even gets to the ring.
So this is be the best matches. So I think if I have the foresight for the pay-per-view, I'm gonna go with, because I wasn't looking forward to this match, so this one's gonna be a little bit different. The Tekla and Statlander. I think that those are 2 really strong wrestlers, and I'm excited to. The Tekla wrestlers with some intensity, so I'm probably gonna say that's gonna be one of the best matches. I'm gonna go with Bandito and Andrade. I think that's going to be, again, that might be like the best match of the month, like of all wrestling. And I think I'm gonna still go land back on as far as my best match. I think Moxley and Takeshita. I think because it's a no time limit, so we already, like, I don't have to worry about that 20 minutes or however long it is in the back of my mind. No, they're just gonna wrestle until we finally get a winner. And again, it probably didn't make it any better that I watched that video with John Moxley and Renee Paquette, and it kind of sold me on this match too. So I think that probably persuaded me a little bit as well. But those would be probably my 3 best matches, I think. I like to see what happens afterwards when we revisit this next week.
And you brought up Tekla. We haven't really had a chance to talk about her on this show. She's a star.
Yeah.
She's a star. She's one that she's almost appointment viewing for me, but she's somebody that, and you can really see it in AEW with her. She knows who she is. She knows her character. And boy, she is locked the hell in every single time she goes out there. If it's a match, if it's her entrance, if it's a promo, she screams off the television.
Like the entrance is just, we know that wrestling is just how you package people. A lot of it is. I mean, wrestling it still is part of it, but this the packaging them. When she does her entrances and she knows exactly where those cameras are at and how she plays into them, how she looks into them, like that's like you said. Sometimes you just can't teach that. You're just a star. You demand the attention. And her knowing like those little things, and I don't know how long she's been wrestling. I think you told me that she's a performer, like she's a rock star or something like that.
She's a rock star. I mean, she's been working for a while, but you can see it on her, right?
Tell.
Like she is a performer.
That's what I'm saying.
Man,
you could tell. Absolutely.
And that's why like this the business is much better, of course, when there's more than one promotion. You look at somebody like Tekla, may not have gotten a shot in WWE. Look how she's excelling in AEW. Look 100%. At Ciampa last night on Dynamite.
Yes.
That entrance, right? Like he was damn near comedy fodder with Johnny Wrestling.
With Johnny, yep. And Johnny,
we know how good he was through NXT and such, but like on the main roster, he never really had a shot to go out there and prove that he can go. Look at him now. And then on the opposite end, look at Danhausen. We know Tony's not the biggest on like just comedic guys or girls, you know what I'm saying? Which we never even talked about the inspiration, how they got squashed 2 weeks ago. We can talk about that later. But in 2 weeks, Danhausen's over. He's over. They show him now, he's already getting pops.
Yep.
And he's been perfect in his role, which he would, because once again, he is a character that knows himself. Imagine them trying to give somebody else the Danhausen character. You can't do it. It's Danhausen is him. He is Danhausen. It is nobody else. So yeah, just shout out to just all wrestling. Go find what you like and stop being weird.
Stop being weird.
All right, so that's it. That's all. My apologies again to Ricochet and Dakota Kai. I really thought we would be able to fit them in on this one. And this is no knock on them because I want to talk about it. But it's time to go. Got to get ready to go to this Piston game. Let's go, Pistons. They had a 4-game skid, and then they beat Brooklyn by like 40 points. So I'm hoping for something similar against Philadelphia tonight. But I do kind of see now why we weren't as aggressive during the trade deadline. They kept talking just about they want to see what this team looks like. They want to see the young guys gel together, see what they have so they know what moves to make. And we look at it from a fan base of like, this is the year. What are you talking about? First place at this time, 6.5, 7 games in first place. Should be running the East. Tatum's out. This guy's out. This guy's out. This guy's out. I think they may be onto something with JB and the GM Langdon, because when they were on that slide for 4 games and we saw all the deficiencies. If Cade's out, you don't have much. Can't hit the 3 ball. This would be a tough night. You know what I'm saying? Our defense travels. Our athleticism travels. Asura goes down. Boy, now you're down a top 3 defender in the league. We're missing a piece. And I don't know if that piece would have gotten you to where you need to get to this year, but we're missing a piece and they got to go through the ups and downs. We were up by 25 against the Nets last week. They came back to win, and JB's response was, that's what happens when you disrespect the game. Meaning they took their foot off the pedal, which is super easy. If you play any type of sports, it's hard to keep that intensity up for the entire game when you are dog walking somebody. Yeah. But that's part of the process, right? When you got somebody down, you got to finish them. And it's just the process. But it's going to be interesting to see what this looks like. But there have been a couple kind of pause for concerns that I've always saw it, but just to kind of see it all happen in like 1 week all together, it's like, oh, they may have been onto something.
Well, can't grow if you don't know where you need to grow at, right?
You should have just said, can't grow if you don't know. You know what I'm saying? Just cut it like that.
I don't freestyle for free, so.
You don't never freestyle. Hey, just so y'all know, so real quick, Rhodesia said that she was in this rap group when she was a kid. It was her brother's rap group. Shout out Richard and Rigel, right? What's the name of the rap group, Rhodesia?
It's Entourage.
Entourage. And Rhodesia has told me since I've met her in 2001 that she was a rapper in Entourage. Rhodesia is yet to spit a half a bar.
Because I said that I don't freestyle for free.
I told Rhodesia I'll pay her. I've yet to get it.
And now maybe we're talking how much you want to pay me.
Look at it. I've already
I do something strange for a piece
Don't
of
act brand new
change.
now.
I do something strange for a piece of change.
We damn straight talking about rapping then. We talking about something else. So we out of here, man. We'll be back next week. And who knows? We may give y'all 2 again next week. We may be back on Monday after Revolution and SmackDown. We will have a lot to talk about. Actually, there may be what we do. We see y'all.
There's a couple things we didn't talk about today that we should talk about.
Yeah, what else we got?
McAfee, Michael, Scream, of course, Dakota and Ricochet, and EO.
Yeah, apologize to Ricochet and Dakota. What EO do?
EO is so much better after the breakup. Girl, you could do all good by yourself.
For anybody who's still listening, a lot of people don't listen to the end of the show, so I'll put it here. Spoiler alert, we're looking at EO and Asuka at WrestleMania, which I cannot wait for that.
I want it to be surprised.
I cannot wait for that. I was thinking they may go Julia EO. Remember I said that? I wasn't joking when I said she may follow Rhea to SmackDown. But I think they're going to pay off Asuka and EO. Be interesting what they do with Kyrie. I don't want it a triple threat. That would make all the sense in the world. They wanted to do that. I think I like Kyrie as like the deciding factor of her finally, leaving Asuka after all months and months of being tormented and that kind of thing. But yeah, I just do that spoiler at the end. We out. See y'all next week.
Peace.